A warm welcome to viewers from all around the world. We are here today at Nittawela bringing you live action from the final day of the Sri Lanka University Games, and we have the Consolation finals coming up against the University of Sabaragamu and the University of Kelaniya, which will be starting at 2 o'clock. And what a game we'll be having on our hands. Kelaniya playing that semi-finals against the University of Colombo last week, down to 14 men for 20 minutes. They lost by a very, very small margin, and they'll be coming here today to make sure that they go away with a win and that they win this consolation final against Sabaragamu. However, Saburagamu won't be making it an easy task for them. And here's the weather forecast for today. We'll be having a maximum temperature of 27 degrees Celsius, a minimum temperature of 21 degrees Celsius, and a wind speed of 9 kilometers per hour blowing from the right of your screen to the left. That wind factor here in Nittawela is not very telling today, and we'll be having overcast conditions today here at Nittawela with a little bit of a drizzle to be expected. However, the players will be hoping that there won't be much of rain today, because if that's the case, they'll have to compromise on their back line moves, and we'll have to depend a lot on their forwards, which might benefit some of the teams, however compromising some of their moves. That's it from us for now. We'll be coming back to you with a lot of action from the game after this short commercial break.
గత గంట నుంచి ఏదో చెప్తున్నాడు సార్, ఏం వినిపించట్లేదు.
పిఎస్ఎన్ రాసుకోమ్మా.
అంటే
పీనస్ ఎన్లార్జ్మెంట్ సర్జరీ.
Just a little bit of width on offer, and he's got fast hands. They'll show.
ප්‍රබල පන්දුවක් කෙවර ප්‍රබල ඉල්ලීමක් නෑ. පන්දුව කඩුලේ වදින්නේ. ඒ අනුව සාර්ථකත්වයට පත් වෙනවා. ඔබ ඔහු තරමක් පිටින් දෙසට යොමුනවා. ඔහු කල්තියාම අපේක්ෂා කරන පන්දුව කැපෙනවා අවුත් පිළිබඳව.
ඉහළින්ම පන්දුව එල්ල වෙනවා.
කෙටි පන්දුවට ඉහළින් පාර ස්ථානගත කිරීම. ලකුණු 4ක්.
on ThePapare on Dialog TV.
ශ්‍රී ලංකාවේ අංක 1 ක්‍රීඩා නාලිකාව ThePapare.
കോടതി വിധി വന്ന് രണ്ടാം ദിവസം മുരളിയെ ജയിലിൽ പോയി കാണണമെങ്കിൽ, ജഡ്ജിന്റെ അപ്പോയിന്റ്മെന്റ് എടുക്കണമെങ്കിൽ എവിടെയോ ഒരു കുഴപ്പം തോന്നുന്നുണ്ട് സാർ.
മാർട്ടിൻ ഷീബ വധക്കേസ്, ക്രൈം നമ്പർ 252/70.
What's more important? Our happiness?
ఆ పేరేంటేదా, అడ్రస్ ఏంటేదా?
ఎరా స్కూల్ అయిపోయిందా?
అయిపోయింది నాన్న. కానీ నాకు డౌట్ నాన్న.
చెప్పరా, ఏ సబ్జెక్ట్ లో?
డౌట్ సబ్జెక్ట్ లో కాదు నాన్న,
మరి
నా డ్రాయర్ లో.
I hate my life, అరే కష్టాలకే కేరాఫు.
ఐ హేట్ మై లైఫ్ అన్న లిరిక్స్ ఏంటి? ఈ సిగ్నేచర్ స్టెప్ ఏంటి? అసలు నీ ఫ్రస్ట్రేషన్ కారణం ఏంటి బ్రో, చెప్పు. అంబులెన్స్.
අපේ ජීවිතේ පළමුවැනි වීරයාගේ කතාව. තාත්තා ප්‍රසාද් සමරතුංගගේ දෙවැනි සිනමා නිර්මාණය
அப்பக்கே அதுக்கு உபயோகிക്കാൻ പാടായിരിക്കും
അത് ഉപയോഗിച്ചാലല്ലേ അറിയും. ഒരു ഫോട്ടോ എടുത്ത് അവനെ ഫോണിൽ ആരെങ്കിലും വിളിക്കുകയാണെങ്കിൽ ഭയങ്കര കളിയും ചിരിയും തമാശയൊക്കെ ആയിരിക്കും. അടുത്ത് നിന്ന് നമ്മൾ എന്തെങ്കിലും പറഞ്ഞാൽ ഇങ്ങനെ രണ്ടു മൂളല് മാത്രമേ ഉണ്ടാവൂ.
මොන මගුලක්ද මහත්තයෝ කරන්නේ?
කිචිනේ යුද සමය අවසන් දැන් රෝඩේ ඩයපෙන් කැපෙන කතුරෙන් නොකැපෙන මිතුරුකම යුද සමය කතුරු මිතුරු මොකටද දිව්වේ
පිටේ කුණු ඇතුළුවා කියලා.
දැන් ඩයලොග් ටෙලිවිෂන් ViU Mini ViU Hub හා ViU App තුලින් ඔබේ සිනහවට වග කියනු නොලැබේ.
කමන්ඩ ජෝන් සින කට්ටක
අනේ මාත්‍යෝ මේ මට ඔය ඩීල් වලින් නම් වැඩක් නැහැ. පර කරදරයක් නම් කරන්න එපා.
දිය වෙන්න කලින් රහ බලන්න ඕන සිනමා රසය අයිස්ක්‍රීම් ශ්‍රී ලාංකික ටෙලිවිෂනයේ පළමු ප්‍රදර්ශනය ජනප්‍රිය සිනමා ගීතේ ප්‍රතිභාපූර්ණ සම්මානනීය තරු රෙසින් හැඩවූ අයිස්ක්‍රීම් ඩයලොග් ටෙලිවිෂන් ViU Mini ViU Hub හා ViU App තුලින් නරඹන්න.
මැට්ටා
මෙට්ට
මං ඔයාට ආදරෙයි.
ඒ කියන්නේ
කසාද බඳින්න කැමතියි කියලා.
මාව කොහොමද ඔයා කසාද බඳින්නේ?
ඇයි බැරි?
මේක මහා බලගතු විස්මිත පුස්කොලයක්.
මගේ අහංකාර පියුමේ සියමරන් මට ටොක්කුකුත් තැන්න ඊලන්දාරි වැඩ කරන්න යනවා කියලා.
මේ ලෝකේ හරිම පුදුමාකාරයි.
ඒ වගේම
පොඩ්ඩක් නවතින්න. ඔබ ඔය රිමෝට් එක අතේ තියන් channel මාරු කරන්නේ ඔබේ දරුවට බලන්න හොඳ programs යන channel එකක් හොයන්නද? ඔව් ඒක ලේසි වැඩක් නෙවෙයි තමයි. සමහර ඒවායි කාටුන් විතරයි. තවත් ඒවායි අධ්‍යාපනික වැඩසටහන් විතරයි. තව සමහරක් ඒවායි සින්දු විතරයි. ඔය සේරම එකම තැනක තිබුණා නම් දරුවටත් ලේසි, ඔබටත් පහසුයි නේද? එහෙනම් ඉතින් ඔබට නවතින්න වෙන්නේ මෙතන. දරුවගේ දැනුම අවබෝධය වර්ධනය කරන ගමන් දරුවා සතුටින් තියෙන වටිනා වැඩසටහන් රසක් මෙතන තියෙනවා. ඩයලොග් TV නාලිකාංක 48. A+ Kids TV. ආදරේ බෙදෙන පුංචි හිත්වලට ආදරෙන්.
You know what you want and you know how to get it.
Are they looking for you?
He'll kill me if he finds me.
Who are you spying on?
I'll never tell.
Now available free of charge to all Dialog ViU Hub and ViU Mini postpaid customers. To access, simply go to the home screen on your Dialog ViU and go to Movies and select Lionsgate Play.
என்ன?
பஞ்சரா இருக்கு. ஏய் நீ எதுக்கு இருக்கல இறங்குற இப்போ? உள்ளே இரு.
தம்பி ரொம்ப ஆபத்தான இடம்பா. சீக்கிரம் டயர் மாத்தி கிளம்பு தம்பி.
ഇയാൾ ഇപ്പോൾ എവിടെയുണ്ട്, എവിടെയൊക്കെ പോകുന്നു, ആരെല്ലാം കാണുന്നു, ആരെല്ലാം വിളിക്കുന്നു, എല്ലാ ഡീറ്റെയിൽസും അപ്പനെ അറിയിക്കണം.
පුරා පැය දෙකක කාලයක් ඔබව කුතුහලයෙන් තැතිගන්වන
ඔයා ගැන තිබුණු විශ්වාසය නැති වෙලයි තියෙන්නේ.
එහෙම මේ විදිහට රටවල් වහගෙන ඉන්න පුළුවන්ද බං? එහෙම මේ බාර් වහගෙන ඉන්න පුළුවන්ද? එහෙම රටක් කරන්න පුළුවන්ද?
කඳුළු බිඳුව හැරි තවම නුඹ
ලොක්ඩවුන්
Just a little bit of
Here watching in Sri Lanka on ThePapare or Dialog TV.
Ch
Sri Lanka's #1 sports channel, ThePapare.
Hi, කොහමද? හැමතිස්සෙම ඔයා මගෙන් මං ඔයාගෙන් දේවල් ඉගෙන ගන්නවා. අපි ඇඳුමට විතරක් සීමා වෙන්නේ නැතුව අපේ පර්සනැලිටි එකේ ඉඳන් අපි හිතන පතන හැම විදිහටම කන බොන විදිහ කෙනෙක්ට සලකන විදිහ ඉඳන්ම මේ ෆැෂන් එක ටයිප්. Ladies and gentlemen, අපි යමුද ෆැෂන් ෂෝ එක බලන්න? දැක්කම ඔයාලම තමයි මතක් වුනේ. අපි කතා කරමු නිදහසේ ෆැෂන් ගැන, මේ kids fashion.
Kids fashion අඟහරුවාදා සවස 5ට, බ්‍රහස්පතින්දා උදෑසන 11ට සහ ඉරිදා සවස 5ට.
A+ Kids TV නාලිකාංක 48 ඔස්සේ.
විවාහ නැකත් චාරිත්‍ර රාත්‍රී කාලයේ ගැනීම සුදුසුද?
කිසිම වෙලාවක රාත්‍රී කාලයේ හෝ හවස් කාලයේ පෝරුවට මස්තකාරූඪ වීමේ සර්වතෝභද්‍ර සුබ මුහුර්ත ලබා දීම සුදුසු නෑ. දවල් 12ට කලින් තමයි පෝරුවට මස්තකාරූඪ වෙන්න සුදුසු වෙලාවන් ලබා දෙන්න සුදුසු වෙන්නේ.
බිරිඳගේ කේන්දරේ අපලයක් නිසා වෙන්නුණු සැමියා ගැන ඔබ දන්නවාද? ඒ වගේම දේහ ලක්ෂණ විද්‍යාව, අංක විද්‍යාව සහ මේ සතියේ කලදසාව සමගින් චැනල් 1 තරු සක්මන නරඹන්න.
සෙනසුරාදා උදෑසන 8ට නැවත විකාශය. සඳුදා උදෑසන 8ට සහ සවස 4ට.
உங்களுக்கெல்லாம் உங்களால் நாங்கள் நல்லா இருக்கணும், உங்களை விட நல்லா இருந்துடக்கூடாது.
எந்த பெரிய உலகம் உன் வெளியினில்
මේ ලෝකෙ කවුරුත් කාවෙනුවෙන්වත් ඉපදෙන්නේ නැහැ. ඒක වෙන්නේ ජීවත් වෙන විදියෙන් තමයි.
ඔයාගේ කැමතිම ඩයලොග් ටෙලිවිෂන් ප්‍රෝග්‍රෑම්ස් මිස් වුණාද? ඩයලොග් ViU ඇප් එකෙන් රීවයින්ඩ් නැත්නම් කැච් අප් කරලා ඕනම වෙලාවක බලන්න. පැය 2ක් දක්වා රීවයින්ඩ් කරන්න, දවස් 3ක් දක්වා ප්‍රෝග්‍රෑම්ස් කැච් අප් කරන්නත් පුළුවන්. ඔයාගේ කැමතිම ප්‍රෝග්‍රෑම්ස් මිස් කරගන්නේ නැතුව ViU ඇප් එකේ data කැපෙන්නේ නැතුවම බලන්න. අදම ViU ඇප් එක ඩවුන්ලෝඩ් කර ඔයාගේ ඩයලොග් TV කනෙක්ෂන් එක ඇඩ් කරන්න. ඩයලොග් ටෙලිවිෂන් ශ්‍රී ලංකාවේ අංක 1 ටෙලිවිෂන් රසස්වාදය.
අයිෂේ රෝහල් ගත කරත් එකයි, වේදිකා ගත කරත් එකයි. හැමදාම හැමෝම පෙන්නන්නේ එකම නාට්‍ය තමයි.
අපි කන බල්ලෙක් නෑ. අපිව බල්ලෝ කනවා.
යවන්න ඔය ඉන්න ගෙම්බන්ගේ පටන් කවුරුත් දන්නවා මගේ පොලිටිකල් පැටර්න්.
විශාල කරදරයක් වුණු මිතුරු සිනහ උල්පත.
විශාල කරදරයක් වුණා.
ගිරිරාජ් කෞශල්‍ය අධ්‍යක්ෂණයෙන් කැපෙන කතුරෙන් නොකැපෙන මිතුරුකම. කතුරු මිතුරු.
මොකටද දීවි? පිටේ කුණු ඇතුළුවා කියලා.
දැන් ඩයලොග් ටෙලිවිෂන් ViU Mini, ViU Hub හා ViU App තුලින් ඔබේ සිනහවට වග කියනු නොලැබේ.
කමන්ඩ ජෝන් සීන කට්ටක.
කවුරු?
ජෝන් සීන.
This is Dr. Arjun Reddy Deshmukh. మెడికల్ ప్రొఫెషన్లో కోపాన్ని కంట్రోల్ చేయలేని మనిషి ఒక సర్జికల్ బ్లేడ్ పట్టుకున్న మర్డర్తో సమానం.
போட்ட ஜெட்டிய உள்பக்கமா திருப்பி துவைக்க கூட மாட்டான், அப்படியே போடுவான் உன் தம்பி.
சார், நான் பிரெக்னெண்டா இருக்கேன்.
ஐயோ டோட்டல் சிப் கரெக்ட் ஆயிடுச்சுப்பா.
காரில் போயிட்டு இருந்தோம்மா. அப்போ ஒரு குரூப் கால் வந்துச்சு. நீ காலில் இறங்கணுன்னே.
ඉතින් සාක්‍යයක් එක්කම පොලිසියට අල්ලලා දුන්නා නම් හරිනේ මන්ත්‍රීතුමා.
මගේ පුතා මට කතා කරනවා වගේ වුණා මහත්තයෝ.
එයාගේ පුතා මැරිලානේ කල්ලා මහත්තයා.
ඒ කොහමද?
ඔය කාමරේම ඉන්නල තමයි මැරුණේ.
මට යන්නම් කියලා ඇත්තට හැදී මට ගොඩක් බයසනවා ගැන කියන සුන්දර කවියට ආසමම කීවතාලට නැඹ
വിശ്വാസം വരണില്ലല്ലേ ഈ കഥയ്ക്ക് അങ്ങനെ ഒരു കുഴപ്പമില്ല.
Now available free of charge to all Dialog ViU Hub and ViU Mini postpaid customers. To access, simply go to the home screen on your Dialog ViU and go to Movies and select Lionsgate Play.
පිටිපන්දුවට ඉහළින් හර ස්ථානගත කිරීම.
ThePapare on Dialog TV.
ශ්‍රී ලංකාවේ අංක 1 ක්‍රීඩා නාලිකාව ThePapare. ඩයලොග් ටෙලිවිෂන් සමගින් අනාගතය අත්විඳින්න. දහසකටත් වඩා වැඩි දෙස් විදෙස් මූවීස් සහ වීඩියෝ ඔන් ඩිමාන්ඩ්. පහසුවෙන් රිවයින් කරන්න. මොබයිල් එකෙන් කන්ට්‍රෝල් කරන්න. යන එන ගමන් මොබයිල් එකෙන් ටීවී බලන්න. අප්ග්‍රේඩ් වුණු ඩයලොග් ViU අත්දැකීම ඔබත් අත්විඳින්න. ඩයලොග් ViU ප්ලස් හෙට දවසේ තාක්ෂණයෙන් බලගන්වන ශ්‍රී ලංකාවේ අංක 1 රසාස්වාදය.
එකම සීනයක් හඹා යන තරුණයන් දෙදෙනෙක් විඳින විඳවන ජීවිතවල ඇතුලාන්තය ප්‍රේමී සදාතනික බැඳීමෙන් ලංවන මනුෂ්‍යත්වයට එහා ගිය යූරෝ ඩොලර් තුන අතරමං වූ ජීවිත සුන්දර ඉතාලි සීනයක තනි කරන පාස්පෝට් ඩයලොග් ටෙලිවිෂන් ViU Mini ViU Hub හා ViU App තුලින් නරඹන්න.
మెడికల్ ప్రొఫెషన్లో కోపాన్ని కంట్రోల్ చేయలేని మనిషి ఒక సర్జికల్ బ్లేడ్ పట్టుకున్న మర్డర్తో సమానం. For the first time on Sri Lankan TV, Dialog Television brings you Lionsgate Play.
Stay with me. Always.
You enjoy this?
We're gonna have a great time.
All right.
Now available free of charge to all Dialog ViU Hub and ViU Mini postpaid customers. To access, simply go to the home screen on your Dialog ViU and go to Movies and select Lionsgate Play.
Not today.
Now available free of charge to all Dialog ViU Hub and ViU Mini postpaid customers. To access, simply go to the home screen on your Dialog ViU and go to Movies and select Lionsgate Play.
அதை காப்பாத்துறதுக்காக சண்டையும் போடுவோம்.
செத்தது யாரோ தானே நம்ம உங்க அம்மா செத்த மாதிரி ஓவரா சீனை போடுற
इंजीनियर
छोड़ू वाले खून पी जाऊंगा तेरा பேசிக்கலாம் சொல்றல பேசிக்கலாம்
என்ன சங்குல இருக்கிறான்ல 난 죽일 놈 죽여야 할 놈 죽여도 되는 놈 그런 놈만 죽여
도무지 볼 수가 있어야지. 내가 이거 잡을 거니까.
Now available free of charge to all Dialog ViU Hub and ViU Mini postpaid customers. To access, simply go to the home screen on your Dialog ViU and go to Movies and select Lionsgate Play.
මොන මගුලක්ද මහත්තයෝ කරන්නේ?
කිචිනේ.
එදා ඔච්චර බඩ තිබුණේ
නෑ. එදා තිබ්බේ නෑ. අද උදේ ආවේ බඩ. නිකන් යන්න ඕ යන්න.
කතුරු මිතුරු
நீ பண்ணியா இல்லையான்னு நான் சொல்றேன்.
පුරා පැය දෙකක කාලයක් ඔබව කුතුහලයෙන් තැතිකන්වන
ඔයා ගැන තිබුණු විශ්වාසය නැති වෙලයි තියෙන්නේ.
එහෙම මේ විදිහට රටවල් වහගෙන ඉන්න පුළුවන්ද බං? එහෙම මේ බාර් වහගෙන ඉන්න පුළුවන්ද? එහෙම රටක් කරන්න පුළුවන්ද?
කොඳුළු බිඳුවේ හැරි තවම නුඹ
lockdown.
They bowled really well here watching in Sri Lanka on ThePapare on Dialog TV.
Sri Lanka's #1 sports channel, ThePapare.
සහනිදුව මේ පැතරාවද? අනේ දෙයනේ දොර වහලා තිබුණේ සාලේ.
මේ වගේ පොඩි ළමයෙක්ට තනියම එළියට යන්න බෑනේ.
යා මොනවා කරනවා ඇතිද? මට කොහෙන් හරි මගේ දරුවව ගෙනත් දෙන්න.
කොච්චර කෙලින් කරන්න හැදුවත් මේක කෙලින් යන්නේ නැහැ.
හොඳයි උන්ට කොහෙන්ද මොලේ? මොලේ මොකටද බූරු? දේශපාලනය කරන්නේ.
රෝසි මැඩම් මේ ඕන මෙනු එක දැකලා අපි කොල්ල මැඩම් විතර නෙමෙයි මදකන් වවුලේ ඔක්කොම මදකන්
සමහර සිටුේෂන්ස් තියෙනවා එකිනෙකාට ෂෙයා කරගන්න බැරි තරමට කොම්ප්ලිකේටඩ්.
සඳ පායන්න සැරසී
Just a little bit of
පිටිපත්වලට ඉහළින් පාර ස්ථානගත කිරීම on ThePapare on Dialog TV.
ශ්‍රී ලංකාවේ අංක 1 ක්‍රීඩා නාලිකාව ThePapare.
ඒයි පිස්සුද?
කාටද පිස්සු?
ඉස්සර ප්ලේ කරා. දැන් ප්ලේ කරන්න කැමති නෑ. මාළුවන්ට කතා කරන්න පුළුවන්ද? ඕ ඒකන එයාලා යාළු මාළුව වෙන්නේ. සූ කිරි වගේ පොඩ්ඩන්ටත් ලොක්කන්ටත් මනු ගුණදම් කියා දෙන සිනහවෙන් පිරුණු ලස්සනම චිත්‍රපටය.
ඉවසන්න දන්නා රුපුයුදයට ජයකොඩිය.
ජයකොඩිය? ජයකොඩිය නෑ මේ වෙලාවට මට සුදු කොඩිය අරගෙන ඉර යන්න හිතෙන්නේ.
මේ නිවාඩු කාලේ පුංචි හීන පාටින් පුරවගන්න මගේ යාළු මාළු. ඩයලොග් ටෙලිවිෂන් ViU Mini ViU Hub හා ViU App තුලින් නරඹන්න.
මට මතක මගේ ෆස්ට් නයිට් එකේ ඉඳන් විතරයි. පුතාට හිටිය ගමන් කවදා හරි කියලා තියනවද බීච් යන් කියලා?
Let's go to the beach. මේ ලෝකේ කවුරුත් කාවෙනුවෙන්වත් ඉපදෙන්නේ නැහැ. ඒක වෙන්නේ ජීවත් වෙන විදියෙන් තමයි.
அது எப்படி ஓன் ஜூரிஸ்டிக்ஷன்ல ஓன் விரோதக்காரங்க மட்டும் சாகுறாங்க.
உங்களுக்கும் இந்த கொலைக்கு சம்பந்தம் இருக்கா? நீங்க என்ன கதை வேணா எழுதிக்கோ. நடந்தது என்னன்னு நான் கண்டுபிடிக்கிற வரைக்கும்.
நான் யாரையும் கொலை பண்ணல மேடம்.
கைதிலே சிறந்த கைதி நான்.
width on offer and he's got fast hands. Dilshan.
Into the stands she goes. Nawan Oja moves closer to that half century.
One thing is they have been heavy and the spinners have bowled really well. Here watching in Sri Lanka on ThePapare or Dialog TV.
Sri Lanka's #1 sports channel, ThePapare. ThePapare.
இந்த உலகத்தில் இருக்கிற உயிர்கள்லேயே மோசமானவன் மனுஷன்தான். ஜாதி பார்ப்பான், பெரிய சண்டியராங்க, மதம் பார்ப்பான்,
सनातन धर्म संस्कृति
என்ன சங்குல இருக்கிறான்ல.
గత గంట నుంచి ఏదో చెప్తున్నాడు సార్, ఏం వినిపించట్లేదు.
పిఎస్ అని రాసుకోమ్మా.
అంటే
పీనస్ ఎన్లార్జ్మెంట్ సర్జరీ.
Just a little bit of width on offer and he's got fast hands. Dilshan.
ප්‍රබල පන්දුවක් කෙවර ප්‍රබල ඉල්ලීමක් නෑ පන්දුව කඩුල්ලේ වදින්නේ ඒ අනුව සාර්ථකත්වයට පත් වෙනවා ඔබ නමුත් තරමක් පිටින් දෙසට යමුනවා ඔහු කල්තියාම අපේක්ෂා කරන පන්දුව කැපෙන අවුත් පිළිබඳව
ඉහළින්ම පන්දුව එල්ල වෙනවා
පිටි පන්දුවට ඉහළින් පාර ස්ථානගත කිරීම ලකුණු 4ක්
on ThePapare on Dialog TV.
ශ්‍රී ලංකාවේ අංක 1 ක්‍රීඩා නාලිකාව ThePapare.
And we are here at Nittawela, moments away from the game starting off. We have Kelaniya versus Sabaragamuwa in this Consolation finals. And minutes before starting off, the sky is pouring down. There's a lot of rain coming in. And this will definitely be a factor that the teams will consider when they are employing their game moves.
And it will be a tough time to the referee as well. Both the jumpers, Kelaniya with the stripes, light blue and dark blue, and Sabaragamuwa with a blue jumper. And a tough time. And here's the match officials, Nittawela and Yatush, Avinash and Malinda Deshapriya acting as his assistants. Referee Nittawela wanting to look at the final count in the ground. We are all set to kick things off from the left to right. It will be Sabaragamu who will be kicking things off. And we are underway here at Nittawela. Lets the ball bounce. Does the fullback, the scrum half rather, of Kelaniya gives it to the captain, the number 8, who takes the ball into contact. But they are still inside the 22 meters, hence they can kick it out on the full. And the first knock-on of the game comes in favour of Sabaragamuwa. Here's Sabaragamuwa with ball available. Here's the big number 1 taking the ball into contact. He's being well dealt with by the Kelaniya defence. Here's another fringe move through the fringes. Goes a couple of players, and here's the ball being presented. Yet again, the number 8, the captain, the acting captain rather, is taking the ball into contact, but good work from Kelaniya to counteract that, and ball has been turned over. Ball available. Play on is the call from the referee, and Sabaragamu have possession, gives it out to the fly half. Here's the center straightening the line, and the fullback putting in a lovely inside pass to the number 12. Meters away from the try line. Sabaragamu have started really well. Here's another pick and drive through the fringe, and it'll be another pick and drive through the fringe yet again. Sabaragamu doing what they know best. Here's the number 11. Not good handling from Sabaragamu. They've been knocked back by 5 meters. Here's the number 1 taking the ball into contact. Good tackle coming in from Kelaniya. They've defended really well. Here's the number 8. He goes through the fringe yet again. Gains a couple of meters, but penalty advantage. The first penalty advantage of the game for not retreating, and it's an offside penalty given in favor of Sabaragamu.
A very intense passage of play here. Just 2 minutes in, and Saburagamu have been able to dominate these 2 minutes because that knock on after the kickoff by the Kelaniya jumper. And here's Sabaragamu once again.
Takes the ball into contact is the number 8, the acting captain. Ball available through the side, but it's a good tackle. Good couple of faces from Sabaragamu. Ball available. They'll pick and go through the fringes yet again. There you go. That's exactly what they do. The first 3 minutes, it has all been fringe defense for Kelaniya as the ball has been given out. Here's the big number 3, and looked like a forward pass, and correctly called by the referee Nittawela, and there was space opening up wide, and Sabaragamu should be really happy about this, because Kelaniya in the first 3 minutes have been defending. There you go, the number 15. It was a clear forward pass, and the first real opportunity gone begging for Sabaragamu.
And this will be a scrum for Kelaniya in their own territory, and what they'll be looking for, especially in these wet conditions, is for that quick exit and to get the ball into Sabaragamu territory and make their plays from there.
It will be the scrum off to feed in for Kelaniya, and it will be Hashim Dean at number 8 for Kelaniya. Is a player who played in the A Division rugby, schools rugby. Here's Pereira putting the ball to boot. Doesn't go out on the full, collected by the fullback. Ball available. Will try to run lateral. Puts the ball to boot. A lovely cross kick. Interesting to see where it lands, and it will be landing inside the territory and goes out on the bounce, and hence it will be a line out in favor of Kelaniya. And Kelaniya in the first 4 minutes have been defending their line pretty well.
Definitely, Kavint, and Kelaniya will want to do the same here as well. They'll want to get possession of the ball and make sure that they get a quick exit, because it's not the ideal conditions to run from their own line here because of the rain that's coming down, still coming down. And here's Kelaniya with possession. They create that maul and they roll forward, get some meters.
Yeah, the driving maul is working pretty well for Kelaniya. The ball available for the Peter Wright, but looks like the number 7, Hashim Dean from Kelaniya, has gone in to touch. He was the player who played A Division in Dulaj now this year, I think, for the Peter Wrights. He's a flanker, and he's doing a really good, important job for Kelaniya. Most of the tackles come in because of him, and in attack he's playing at number 8, and in defense he's playing as the open side flanker. And what an impact he is having. And here's Sabaragamu messing things up. Not clean ball. Here's the number 7 taking the ball into contact, still on his feet. Finally brought down. Here's the number 1 taking the ball into contact. Heavy contact, gains a couple of meters. Ball available, and sealing is the call from the referee, Thilna Jayalat. And it will be a penalty in favor of Kelaniya. And the first real opportunity for Kelaniya to get straight out of jail.
And Kelaniya defense has done extremely well here. The first 5 to 6 minutes of the game has been almost entirely played in their territory, but they've done amazingly to make sure that they deny Sabaragamu of any scoring opportunities, and they've got that penalty, and they've been able to gain some crucial meters, and they'll be starting from Saburagamu territory now with possession in hand. Something that they'll want again is a clean line out, and they'll be heavily dependent on their backline here as well, despite the conditions, to make an impact.
Yeah, Bilal, torrid conditions to make those extravagant offloads and passes. It will be Kelaniya who will be collecting this, and not straight is the call. There was a clear jump and the contest, and it was on the Kelaniya side, and hence Sabaragamu have an opportunity for a scrum or a line out. By the looks of it, they've gone for the line out, and it will be the number 8 who will be throwing in for Sabaragamu. And it's a 4-man line out yet again. This time through the 4th pod, good line out, won by Sabaragamu. Here's the fly half, giving it to his number 17. The open side flank by the looks of it. Here's the number 9, giving it to the 15 rather, who puts a kick across, and it will be a penalty in favor of Kelaniya. There were players in front of the kicker. That is why the penalty has been awarded. Quickly taken by Pereira. Pereira serves and he gives it to the number 6 in the corner. Ball available. Pereira acting as the scrum half, gives it to the number 8, the captain. A lovely offload, close range from Kelaniya. Ball available, ball out, and collected by Sabaragamu. They need to keep ball in hand. They've now been playing rugby. The only place they haven't played the rugby is inside their own red zone, inside that 22 meters. And the first 8 minutes they've been playing rugby in almost all the areas, as the ball being held up, but ball available for Sabaragamu. Gives it to the fullback, who puts the ball to boot. There's Pereira at the back, the number 10 for Kelaniya. He'll look to run. He's a very evasive runner. Here's Pereira, gives the ball out and couldn't collect it. Was Pereira yet again. I think it was TC Pereira. There's a lot of Pereiras in this Kelaniya team. And it was NC Pereira, the former Thomian scrum half for Kelaniya, sparking that counter attack. But in defense, that extravagant pass isn't going to hand because of the slippery conditions. And both teams will have to be mindful of that really.
Definitely the number 10 there making some valuable meters, just slicing through that Sabaragamu defense. However, that pass not going to hand, translates into a knock-on.
Good scrummaging from Kelaniya, going ever so close. Here's the ball, gives it out to Pereira, who puts a cross kick, not collected cleanly, touched the Sabaragamu player, and it will be a line out in favor of Kelaniya, just outside the 22 meters. And Kelaniya, although they haven't had possession, they've not given away easy penalties, and they've kept possession whenever they can. But for Sabaragamu, things need to change. They are keeping possession. They need to convert this possession and territory into points.
Definitely, Kavin. That's something they'd want to do from this line out as well. It's the first time that they are playing from their red zone, a little just into their 20-meter zone. And they'll want a clean line out from here as well.
It's a 4-man line out for Sabaragamu. Collected at the back. Brilliant work. Here's the number 8. appeal, and the ball has been charged down.
Offside.
Accidental offside is the call from the referee Tilna Jailat, and gains another 10 meters as well. The fullback will put this into touch. The fullback's kicks haven't gone into touch, not the penalties, but in general the kicks haven't found touch, and that's a brilliant touch find from the number 15 from Sabaragamuwa. Just as we were saying, they were inside their own half, now they have gone inside the 22 meters. This is exactly where Kelaniya needs to be mindful, and Sabaragamuwa do need to score out of this because they've kept possession for the first 11 minutes.
I think the stark contrast between the both teams so far has been their line-outs. While Kelaniya has not been all that disciplined with their line-outs, Sabaragamu has made sure that they find their man. And this is a position that they'll be looking to capitalize from. And just as I say that, Kelaniya have been able to dislodge the ball. However, possession gained by Sabaragamu once again.
Yeah, going through the fringes. Here's a good drive coming in from Sabaragamu. Ball available for another fringe drive. And there again, it's a good fringe drive coming in from Sabaragamu. Tackler needs to roll away, and he does exactly that. Here's the number 1 taking the ball through the fringes yet again. This has been the story so far in the game. Sabaragamu yet again, ball being ripped apart. The referee awarding a knock-on, but I thought the ball was ripped apart from the Sabaragamu player, and this is exactly what Sabaragamu can't be doing. They whenever they have possession, they need to convert this into points.
Yes, this is the third time that Sabaragamu have entered the Kelaniya red zone, and they've failed to capitalize on all of these opportunities. And Kelaniya have also been a little bit lucky with their defense to make sure they get that ball turned over. And here's the Kelaniya scrum half now with the feed.
Scrum half feeding, good scrummaging yet again. Here's Hashim Dean. He breaks through a good break, and the penalty being turned over. He was isolated, and the ball holding on is the call. Hashim Dean is playing at number 8. He could have broken from the open side where he had plenty of men to assist from, but he decided to go through that blind side, and that is not a good ploy, as Sabaragamu yet again put things right to the 5-meter mark of the red zone of Kelaniya, and Kelaniya really lucky to not have conceded any points so far.
And with Sabaragamu once again only 5 meters away, will be interesting to see if Kelaniya contests again or prepare themselves to defend the maul if Kelaniya does create one.
Here's the number 8. Goes in, takes it at the back and knocks the ball on. Kelaniya available. Ball available for them. Ball being ripped apart. Advantage played in favor of Kelaniya. Ruck form. Here's the scrum half. Not a good pass to Pereira. Pereira puts the ball to boot, and advantage was over. Here's the fullback trying to run by himself. Lovely cutout pass, but those kind of passes won't stick in muddy conditions. It's slippery conditions out wide. Here's Hashim Dean giving it to Pereira. Pereira fending off a couple of players, and he's been bundled into touch. Good work, Kelaniya from inside the red zone. Come in and have an advantage by the looks of it. And first knock on advantage. Referee wasn't was playing advantage, but the advantage wasn't over. But I thought they gained around 10 to 15 meters. But somehow Kelaniya have possession of the ball, and the referee clearly indicating that they needs to look at if the knee or the hand touches the ground from the scrum.
Definitely, and once again we are seeing Sabaragamu just give away possession in those crucial moments of the game. They've been having a pretty good line out, but in that instance just not working for them.
Yes,
and
Pereira.
here's Kelaniya now.
Pereira in space, gives it out. Here's the number 13 running through Soshangu, and here's the first try coming in for Kelaniya. Brilliant run from the number 13. What brilliant space identification. It was a lovely, lovely pass from NC Pereira, the fly half. And there was space opening up wide on the open side, and he sold the dummy brilliantly and stepped back a couple of times, and that's the first try coming in for Pereira. Pereira, the number 13. Brilliant, brilliant work, and that's the first try for Kelaniya.
That's some great work there by the Kelaniya players. Just a little dummy to create that indecisiveness in the minds of the Saburagamu defenders, and he slices through that defense and touches down in these wet conditions.
Here's the number 8. And the kick is good by the looks of it. And the flags are raised. It's a 7-point game. Kelaniya, after defending the first quarter of the game, first 15 minutes, they've been defending inside their red zone. And whenever they've got possession and good play, and gives it out to the number 13, who ran a good 60-70 meters before they went. Here's the replay. It was a good ball from NC Pereira to the first center, who drew in a couple of players and gave it to Pereira, who dives over and scores the first try of the Consolation final. The restart is being made, collected, and it goes into touch, and it goes over the deadline as well. Very poor from Sabaragamuwa, and Kelaniya have an opportunity. They'll have a scrum center field, and hopefully they can score another. The scrums from Kelaniya have been really, really brilliant. All the scrums have been pushed from a Kelaniya point of view, and Sabaragamuwa needs to get their scrum correct and on target if they are going to make a game out of it.
Yes, and I think that's where Kelaniya lacked last week as well. They were found to be second in the scrums against Colombo. However, they seem to have amended their mistakes, made amends, and come back with a strong scrum. And here's Kelaniya now with possession. Although they haven't had the majority of possession of the ball during this first half, during these first 20 minutes so far, whenever they have had the ball, they've been a real threat, just like we saw a few minutes ago.
There you go. There again, the scrum working really well, and he puts the ball up and under. Collected, knocked on. Kelaniya have possession, gives it to NC Pereira. Here's the fly half, shows and goes. Here's a goose step, draws in, passes it over. Advantage over is the call, and looks for that inside ball. What was he trying to think? What was he trying to do? What was he thinking? The number 15. There was space opening up wide. He only needed to draw in a couple of defenders and give the ball back to NC Pereira, who was in space. And if he hadn't done that extravagant backhand pass, it should surely would have been a try for Kelaniya.
Definitely. What the number 15 should have ideally done there for Kelaniya is just draw in those defenders and pass it to the person outside him. However, he was going for a little bit of flair, which is risky in these conditions, especially with the heavens pouring down, and they miss out on another scoring opportunity.
There you go. What a scrum that is. Knock-on advantage. Kelaniya have been dominating this scrum aspect here at Nittawela. Brilliant work. It pushes back if there are wheels fixed to that Sabaragamu scrum. Not good work from Sabaragamu. Kelaniya need to keep this in mind. The scrums are working for them. They'll use this to their advantage throughout the game.
And here's Kelaniya with the feed in once again. Stable scrum. Fed to Pereira there. And here's some space opening up.
Pereira gives it to H. Pereira. Here's the number 14, drops the ball. Ball available for Sabaragamuwa.
Time off. Ball lagao matiya.
Referee wanting to have a word. It looks like there's a player down. Center field. Think it was a head clash between the number 11 of Kelaniya and the number 13, the 12 of Sabaragamuwa. Here's the replay. Not a good pass from the scrum half. Here's what happened. Collision, head on head. It was a lovely decoy running angle from the number 11 of Kelaniya, but straight into the number 12 of the Saburagamu player, and head clash, and they'll have a little stars flying around their eyes at the moment. Here you go. Here's the replay. Head on head, number 12 on number 11, and both players are down. As we see a replay there again, it was a lovely draw and pass from NC Pereira, the number 10 of Kelaniya. Had the wing three-quarter collected it, it surely would have been the second try of the game.
Kelaniya once again proving to be a threat whenever they have possession of the ball. And that back line, despite the conditions, playing ever so well. And it's that last final pass there that has denied them of tries both times here. They'll have to keep in mind the wet conditions as well. The conditions, of course, playing a much more pivotal role than we would have expected it to.
Yeah, since the rain started before kickoff, it hasn't ceased. It has been pouring down continuously. It isn't heavy rain, but it isn't a drizzle as well. And hence there will be patches of water in the ground area, and the scrummaging will be really, really tough. And yes, Sabaragamuwa throwing in number 8, collects it at the back and puts the ball to boot. There's plenty of men at the back. Pereira, a couple of Pereiras. H. Pereira, the number 13, and NC Pereira. Here's H. Pereira trying to run through the corner. Here's the number 13, already scored one brilliant try. Advantage play. Sabaragamuwa going ever so back, and it was a good tackle from the Sabaragamuwa defender to stop H. Pereira, who was sprinting past this touchline.
And the Kelaniya number 13 proving a little too much to handle for the Sabaragamu defense at this moment. If only he had a little bit of support from his own players, that would have definitely translated into another try. However, Sabaragamu now with possession of the ball, and an interesting tactic employed by Sabaragamu where the number 8 breaks and he goes to boot straight away.
This is the number 8. Good work from Sabaragamuwa, and the number 15 puts the ball to boot. Collected and knocked down by the number 14. It will be a scrum advantage, penalty advantage rather. First knock on advantage is what they go for, and Sabaragamuwa really will be happy with this score, because 7 points to nil. They haven't given away more than one try, and it's all to play for right from here. And but in the first 15 minutes, Sabaragamuwa was camping inside the red zone of Kelaniya for 15 minutes. But that one breakaway try, one individual brilliance from the Kelaniya number 10 and the number 13 is why they have 7 points on the board. This will be a Sabaragamuwa
okay. Steady, good.
Feed in to the scrum. Goes out. Here's the number 8. Breaks. Good tackle coming in from Hashim Dean. Rock formed is the call.
Back. Stay back.
Referee asking Sabaragamu players,
Release.
the Kelaniya players to retreat. Rather, there's plenty of men from Sabaragamuwa. Here's the number 15. He'll put the ball to boot and needs to run. Collected by the number 11. Gives it to NC Pereira. Pereira decides to run. Runs through the middle. Puts in a lovely pass out. But the ball goes into touch. And Sabara will have a line out inside the opposition half.
Some very scrappy rugby being played in the midfield here. Pass is not going to hand. However, although we do have in mind that the conditions do play a pivotal role, this is something that the players should prepare for as well and make sure that they just amend those passes there.
Overthrown, collected by the Kelaniya flank. He takes the ball into contact, needs the ball needs to release. Hands on the ground. Number 27 is the culprit for Sabaragamuwa, and Kelaniya have an opportunity to get out of jail yet again. And a silly penalty given because the player from Kelaniya was isolated, but the jackler and the tackler needed to release. Ball kicked out, collected just outside, and Kelaniya for around the third, fourth time comes into the opposition half, having played 15 minutes of rugby inside their own red zone. Kelaniya will be really happy with this score.
And will be interesting to see if Kelaniya goes for that driving maul from here, or if they'll go for a quick backline move. Pereira there seems to be ready to receive the ball.
Here's NC Pereira, gives it to the flank, Hashim Deem. He takes the ball into contact. Still in play is Hashim Deem. Tackle needs to roll away. Goes to the blind side. Should have given the ball out wide because they had three men on the open side. Here's the ball given out. Here's the number 10. Lovely cutout pass to the number 6. To the flank, to the wing 3/4 rather. He'll be bundled and needs to roll away. Ball available for Kelaniya. Number 4 takes the ball into contact. Gives it to the number 8. Number 8 being well handled with. Here's the fly half. Gives it to the number 19. The big lock who takes a couple of men to bring him down. Here's the scrum half to the number 13. Here's the number 15. Row and pass. Needs to cut back in. Does exactly well. What a brilliant tackle it is from the Sabaragamuwa player. There's no one in the blind side. The fly half has the ball. Gives it to the number 8. Here's the ball available for the number 16. Still on his feet. Just inches away from the try line. Now here's the number 10. Gives the ball out. Needed to give the ball out. And here's the second try coming in for the number 6. Brilliant work from Kelaniya. Doesn't touch down. Gets plenty of distance from a couple of players. And that's the second try coming in for Kelaniya. Brilliant work. And I thought in the lead up there was a shoulder or an elbow to a face as well.
And Kelaniya just dominating the game here at this moment, although they haven't really had a lot of possession of the ball. Whenever they had those chances, they made sure that they capitalized. And here's the number 8 again, lining up for the conversion. His first conversion was successful, and the second one is also from a similar distance and angle.
Here's a replay. Here's what happened. There you go. Thought there was an arm, but it was okay by the looks of it. Thought the referees are discussing of it.
And if the Kelaniya player is penalized for that, it's a very unnecessary move. He was over the line. Referees seem to be having a little discussion and tending to the player as well. The number 8 from Kelaniya all set for the conversion. Just waiting for the green light from the referees. Meanwhile, what a game Kelaniya is having here. They've done mostly everything right. They've been brilliant in their defense and save a few unforced errors from them. That was also impacted by the weather here. Whenever they've wanted to be on top form, they have done wonderfully. Having a little break in play here.
Try ordered, and there was no dangerous play. And the number 8 will be looking to put this over. And just over. The conversion is good. 2 tries, 2 conversions in the first 30 minutes. Sabaragamuwa, after playing a good first 25 minutes, have conceded 2 tries in the space of just 10 minutes. And Kelaniya on the upper hand. It will be interesting to see how Sabaragamuwa compete with the scrum from Kelaniya, because the scrum aspect isn't working for them and the lineouts are hardly coming out as well. As the number 15 puts the ball to boot, not collected by any of the players, lets it bounce, and it goes into touch inside the 40 meter and just outside the 22 meters of the Kelaniya half, and it will be a Kelaniya throw in. Interesting to see what they do. Whenever they've had ball, they've looked to run from inside their own half even, and not look to kick. But whenever Sabaragamu has had ball, the number 15 or the number 8 has always looked to kick. And here's the number 8.
Number 7, wait, number 7.
Goes in, no contest. Hence the crooked throw is okay. Here's a driving maul. Hasn't rolled yet. Still driving. And here's the number 10. He puts the ball to boot. Not a good touch finder, but collected by Sabaragamu. Here's the number 15. He takes the ball into contact. Here's space opening up for the player. Brilliant work from Sabaragamu. Gives it out. Needs to straighten the line. Good tackle coming in finally from Hashim Dean. And ball available for Sabaragamu. This is the number 12. He'll take the ball. Number 2 rather, the hooker. He'll take the ball into contact. He goes lateral. Gains around 4 meters. Here's another advantage coming in through the fringe. Last foot offside is the call from the referee. Correct call. And here's the number 21. Here's the 15. Row and pass. Number 8 gives it. And here's the first try coming in for Sabaragamu. Brilliant work. Try awarded. Over the whitewash. Brilliant work. It was all kudos to that man, number 28, who ran a brilliant line. And the left wing goes in over the whitewash. It's Priyashan. And the first try of the game for Sabaragamu.
Sabaragamu just proving to be a little more than a handful there for the Kelaniya defense this time. And they did their basics right. They weren't trying for any flashy passes. They just worked the line, drew the defenders, and that last pass was exceptional in setting up the winger Priyashan to cross over the whitewash.
Okay, 30 seconds.
Here's Kelaniya lining up for the conversion. An attempt for it to charge down, and the conversion is not successful, so their score will be at 5. And as we are nearing half time, the scores are 14-5 with Kelaniya in the lead. And here's the replay here. Sabaragamu just doing everything right here, drawing those defenders, making sure they work the line. And that last-ditch defense from Kelaniya proving to not be enough to stop Priyashan from touching down. And here's Kelaniya now with the restart. Number 8 ball in hand. Will be interesting to see if he goes deep for the restart. Kelaniya will have to make sure that their chasers also apply a lot of pressure into Sabaragamuwa. And an unorthodox kick there by the number 8 to the Saburagamu number 8, who also puts ball to boot. Collected there by Pereira. A wayward pass into touch. Unnecessary pass there by Pereira. He was going for that offload just as he was being tackled. And a pass to no one really. That trickles down into the line out. And here's that pass again. Just a little too hurried there by the Sabaragamu defense.
Yeah, whenever the number 10 from Kelaniya, NC Pereira, has had ball, he's always looked to draw in a couple of players and give the ball out, give a cutout ball out wide, where he's looking to find either a flanker or a center who's attacking that line. And from Kelaniya, whenever he's gone into space, there has been not enough support play for NC Pereira. And here's the ball being turned over for Sabaragamu. Here's an opportunity. Ball available, needs to release and needs to roll away. Given to the fullback who puts the ball to boot. A lovely cross kick. And that probably would be as 50-22 by the looks of it. And the ball has been turned over. Can't take it out on the full because it was a 50-22. And it was a brilliant kick from the number 15 from Sabaragamu. This time around, I think it's Kamindu Rukshan, the fullback from Sabaragamu, who put the ball to boot. And this is what we saw from the start of play, isn't it, Bilal? Whenever Sabaragamu has ball, they've looked to kick the ball away. Whenever the fly half or the number 15 has had ball, they've looked to kick away. And from the scrums, the number 8 looks to kick away as well. And they are not playing with structured rugby. They are trying to play a broken play rugby. And here's Sabaragamu taking it at the back and gives it to the number 8, who takes the ball into contact. Still on his feet is the number 8. A lovely back peel from Sabaragamu. Ball available, gives the ball out wide. Here's the fullback, takes the ball into contact, and still on his feet is the fullback. Just inches short from the try line, and the ball has been held up brilliantly from Kelaniya. What brilliant work from the number 10, the little man, NC Pereira, and the number 14 and the number 13 from Kelaniya. There you go, the number 13 and 14 holds him up and ably helps, does NC Pereira, the number 10.
Sabaragamu player, they are just going for a little bit of glory, while all he had to do was pass the ball. And here's play once again. Knock on called after an unorthodox goal line kick from Kelaniya.
Yeah, the kicks aren't going far as well. When they've tried the drop kicks, it's slippery conditions and muddy conditions. Hence, they are having a tough time. Hence, whenever they have ball, they should not try to put it through the ground. The grubbers aren't working. The grubbers never will work in these conditions. Hence, you need to come up with up and unders or long bullet kicks to the back. As the number 9 feeds in and puts the ball to boot, and that will be half time. It's an interesting first half. 14 points to 5. University of Kelaniya leading University of Sabaragamu in this consolation final, the third place final. And we expected Kelaniya to probably run away with it, but kudos to Sabaragamu. They have really managed to hold on and hold on tight, and it's just by 9 points that Kelaniya lead. They had 2 converted tries scored under their belt, and Sabaragamu just had 1.
Definitely, and Sabaragamu almost poised for that second try as well, where Kelaniya just did enough to hold up the player and deny them from that try. And as we approach halftime, 14-5 are the scores, Kelaniya in the lead. And we'll be back with more action after this short commercial break.
గత గంట నుంచి ఏదో చెప్తున్నాడు సార్, ఏం వినిపించట్లేదు.
పిఎస్ఎన్ రాసుకోమ్మా.
అంటే
పీనస్ ఎన్లార్జ్మెంట్ సర్జరీ.
Just a little bit of width on offer, and he's got fast hands. They'll show.
ප්‍රබල පන්දුවක් කෙවර ප්‍රබල ඉල්ලීමක් නෑ පන්දුව කඩුල්ලේ වදින්නේ ඒ අනුව සාර්ථකත්වයට පත් වෙනවා ඔබ ඔහු තරමක් පිටින් දෙසට යමුනවා ඔහු කල්තියාම අපේක්ෂා කරන පන්දුව පැමිණෙන අවධි පිළිබඳව
ඉහළින්ම පන්දුව එල්ල වෙනවා
කෙටි පන්දුවට ඉහළින් පාර ස්ථානගත කිරීම ලකුණු 4ක්
on the Papare on Dialog TV
ශ්‍රී ලංකාවේ අංක 1 ක්‍රීඩා නාලිකාව ThePapare.
കോടതി വിധി വന്ന് 2-ാം ദിവസം മുരളിയെ ജയിലിൽ പോയി കാണണമെങ്കിൽ ജഡ്ജിന്റെ അപ്പോയിന്റ്മെന്റ് എടുക്കണമെങ്കിൽ എവിടെയോ ഒരു കുഴപ്പം തോന്നുന്നുണ്ട് സാർ.
മാർട്ടിൻ ഷീബ വധക്കേസ് ക്രൈം നമ്പർ 252/70.
What's more important? Our happiness?
ఆ పేరేంటేదా అడ్రస్ ఏంటేదా
ఎరా స్కూల్ అయిపోయిందా?
అయిపోయింది నాన్న. కానీ నాకు డౌట్ నాన్న.
చెప్పరా ఏ సబ్జెక్ట్ లో?
డౌట్ సబ్జెక్ట్ లో కాదు నాన్న,
మరి
నా డ్రాయర్ లో.
I hate my life, అరే కష్టాలకే రాఫు.
ఐ హేట్ మై లైఫ్ అన్న లిరిక్స్ ఏంటి? ఈ సిగ్నేచర్ స్టెప్ ఏంటి? అసలు నీ ఫ్రస్ట్రేషన్ కారణం ఏంటి బ్రో చెప్పు.
అంబులెన్స్.
අපේ ජීවිතේ පළමුවැනි වීරයාගේ කතාව තාත්තා ප්‍රසාද් සමරතුංගගේ දෙවැනි සිනමා නිර්මාණය.
അപ്പൊക്കെ അതൊക്കെ ഉപയോഗിക്കാൻ പാടായിരിക്കും.
അത് ഉപയോഗിച്ചാലല്ലേ അറിയും.
ഒരു ഫോട്ടോ എടുത്ത്
അവനെ ഫോണിൽ ആരെങ്കിലും വിളിക്കുകയാണെങ്കിൽ ഭയങ്കര കളിയും ചിരിയും തമാശയൊക്കെ ആയിരിക്കും. അടുത്ത് നിന്ന് നമ്മൾ എന്തെങ്കിലും പറഞ്ഞാൽ ഇങ്ങനെ രണ്ടൂന്ന് മൂളല് മാത്രമേ ഉണ്ടാവൂ.
මොන මගුලක්ද මහත්තයෝ කරන්නේ? කිචිනේ යුද සමය අවසන් දැන් බොන්නේ ඩයපෙන්.
කැපෙන කතුරෙන් නොකැපෙන මිතුරුකම.
යුද සමය
කතුරු මිතුරු.
මොකටද දීවි?
පිටේ කුණු ඇතුළුවා කියලා.
දැන් ඩයලොග් ටෙලිවිෂන් view mini view hub හා view app තුලින් ඔබේ සිනහවට වග කියනු නොලැබේ.
කමන්ඩ ජෝන් සින කට්ටක.
අනේ මාත්‍යෝ මේ මට ඔය ඩීල් වලින් නම් වැඩක් නැහැ. පර කරදරයක් නම් කරන්න එපා.
දිය වෙන්න කලින් රහ බලන්න ඕන සිනමා රසය අයිස්ක්‍රීම් ශ්‍රී ලාංකික ටෙලිවිෂනයේ පළමු ප්‍රදර්ශනය ජනප්‍රිය සිනමා ගීතේ ප්‍රතිභාපූර්ණ සම්මානනීය තරු රෙසින් හැඩවූ අයිස්ක්‍රීම් ඩයලොග් ටෙලිවිෂන් view mini view hub හා view app තුලින් නරඹන්න.
මැට්ටා
මැට්ටා
මං ඔයාට ආදරෙයි.
ඒ කියන්නේ
කසාද බඳින්න කැමතියි කියලා.
මාව කොහොමද ඔයා කසාද බඳින්නේ?
ඇයි බැරි?
මේක මහා බලගතු විස්මිත පුස්කොලයක්.
මගේ අහංකාර පියුමේ සියමර මට ටොක්කුත් දැන්න ඊලන්දාර වැඩ කරන්න යනවා කියලා.
මේ ලෝකේ හරිම පුදුමාකාරයි.
ඒ වගේම
පොඩ්ඩක් නවතින්න. ඔබ ඔය රිමෝට් එක අතේ තියන් channel මාරු කරන්නේ ඔබේ දරුවට බලන්න හොඳ programs යන channel එකක් හොයන්නද? ඔව් ඒක ලේසි වැඩක් නෙවෙයි තමයි. සමහර ඒවායි කාටුන් විතරයි. තවත් ඒවායි අධ්‍යාපනික වැඩසටහන් විතරයි. තව සමහරක් ඒවායි සින්දු විතරයි. ඔය සේරම එකම තැනක තිබුණා නම් දරුවටත් ලේසි, ඔබටත් පහසුයි නේද? එහෙනම් ඉතින් ඔබට නවතින්න වෙන්නේ මෙතන. දරුවගේ දැනුම අවබෝධය වර්ධනය කරන ගමන් දරුවා සතුටින් තියෙන වටිනා වැඩසටහන් රසක් මෙතන තියෙනවා. ඩයලොග් TV නාලිකාංක 48න් A+ Kids TV ආදරේ බෙදෙන පුංචි හිත්වලට ආදරෙන්.
You know what you want and you know how to get it.
Are they looking for you?
He'll kill me if he finds me.
Who are you spying on?
I'll never tell.
Now available free of charge to all Dialog ViU Hub and ViU Mini postpaid customers. To access, simply go to the home screen on your Dialog ViU and go to Movies and select Lionsgate Play.
என்ன?
பஞ்சரா இருக்கு. நீ எதுக்கு இருக்குல இறங்குற இப்போ? உள்ளே இரு.
தம்பி இது ரொம்ப ஆபத்தான இடம்பா. சீக்கிரம் டயர் மாத்தி கிளம்பு தம்பி.
ഇയാൾ ഇപ്പോൾ എവിടെയുണ്ട്, എവിടെയൊക്കെ പോകുന്നു, ആരെല്ലാം കാണുന്നു, ആരെല്ലാം വിളിക്കുന്നു, എല്ലാ ഡീറ്റെയിൽസും അപ്പനെ അറിയിക്കണം.
පුරා පැය දෙකක කාලයක් ඔබව කුතුහලයෙන් තැතිගන්වන
ඔයා ගැන තිබුණු විශ්වාසය නැති වෙලයි තියෙන්නේ.
එහෙම මේ විදිහට රටවල් වහගෙන ඉන්න පුළුවන්ද බං? එහෙම මේ බාර් වහගෙන ඉන්න පුළුවන්ද? එහෙම රටක් කරන්න පුළුවන්ද?
කඳුළු බිඳුව හැරි තවම නුඹ
ලොක්ඩවුන්
Just a little bit of
The ball really well. Here watching in Sri Lanka on ThePapare or Dialog TV.
Sri Lanka's #1 sports channel, ThePapare. ThePapare.
Hi, කොහමද? හැමතිස්සෙම ඔයා මගෙන් මං ඔයාගෙන් දේවල් ඉගෙන ගන්නවා. අපි ඇඳුමට විතරක් සීමා වෙන්නේ නැතුව අපේ පර්සනැලිටි එකේ ඉඳන් අපි හිතන පතන හැම විදිහටම කන බොන විදිහ කෙනෙක්ට සලකන විදිහ ඉඳන්ම මේ ෆැෂන් එක ටයිප්. Ladies and gentlemen, අපි යමුද ෆැෂන් ෂෝ එක බලන්න? දැක්කම ඔයාලම තමයි මතක් වුණේ. අපි කතා කරමු නිදහසේ ෆැෂන් ගැන, මේ kids fashion.
Kids fashion අඟහරුවාදා සවස 5ට, බ්‍රහස්පතින්දා උදෑසන 11ට සහ ඉරිදා සවස 5ට.
A+ Kids TV නාලිකාංක 48 ඔස්සේ.
විවාහ නැකත් චාරිත්‍ර රාත්‍රී කාලයේ ගැනීම සුදුසුද?
කිසිම වෙලාවක රාත්‍රී කාලයේ හෝ හවස් කාලයේ පෝරුවට මස්තකාරූඪ වීමේ සර්වතෝභද්‍ර සුබ මුහුර්ත ලබා දීම සුදුසු නෑ. දවල් 12ට කලින් තමයි පෝරුවට මස්තකාරූඪ වෙන්න සුදුසු වෙලාවන් ලබා දෙන්න සුදුසු වෙන්නේ.
බිරිඳගේ කේන්දරේ අපලයක් නිසා වෙන්නුණු සැමියා ගැන ඔබ දන්නවාද? ඒ වගේම දේහ ලක්ෂණ විද්‍යාව, අංක විද්‍යාව සහ මේ සතියේ කලදසාව සමගින් චැනල් 1 තරු සක්මන නරඹන්න.
සෙනසුරාදා
And we are back live once again, minutes away from halftime here at Nittawela, the Consolation final of the Sri Lanka University Games 2025, Kelaniya versus Sabaragamu University. And here's the highlights from the first half.
It was a good half for Sabaragamuwa. Brilliantly worked try. It was a 70-meter pace for that H. Pereira, the number 13, who went over. And the conversion was put through by the number 8 as well. And here's a look at how NC Pereira drew in and played a lot of rugby inside the opposition half. But Sabaragamu should be given credit. Here's the second try that was scored, and this was converted as well. Trying to blast a couple of players off the ground as well in return. And here's the only try that was scored by Sabaragamu. In the corner, the number 22 that went into contact, and finally this was held up, and the referee having a word with the players, and it will be NC Pereira who will be restarting things of kicking off the second half of the Consolation final. Not knocked on. It took the foot, and there was the one who gave the call, and he was right on money, and could have easily just touched the hand. Sabaragamu giving the opportunity for Kelaniya. The scrum of Kelaniya have been dominating the scrum of Sabaragamu so far in this game, as the number 9 feeds it again, and here you go. The ball was out, ball available, turned over by Sabaragamu. Good work at ruck time. The hook wasn't good from the player. Ball available for Sabaragamu. There's plenty of men at the ruck, and he takes the ball into contact. Ball available, the number 8 at the back, and here's the fullback trying to run past a couple of players. Here's the number 12 putting the ball to boot, and that goes out, and it will be a penalty in favor of Sabaragamu for line offside, and Sabaragamu have an opportunity to kick this out on the full, and maybe give themselves an opportunity in the line out department.
Kelaniya with an early advantage there, just not being able to capitalize despite having the strong scrum. However, whatever Sabaragamu had discussed in that halftime in order to negate that scrum seems to have worked out, as they were able to get out of jail free there.
Yeah, and I think from a personal point, because Kelaniya aren't using the scrum to what they can use it, because whenever the ball is coming, there'll surely be a penalty advantage. You can milk the scrum penalty there and then and there, and they are not using the shove to a good effect at the moment, as the line out has been turned over by the number 6 of Kelaniya. Gives it and collected by the number 8, and Kelaniya have possession. Numbers opening up wide. Here's the flank. Gives it to Hashim Dean, who takes the ball into contact and places it really well. Ball given to the number 10. He'll put the ball to boot. Lovely cross kick. And there's no one at the back. The number 15 by the looks of it. And collected by the number 15, and he decides to run. Here's an opportunity. Needs to put ball to boot, and does exactly that. And there's a space opening up in the corner, and they have touched down, went in, and surely that will be a goal line dropout in favor of Kelaniya.
Hectic passage of play here as the ball is going to and fro. Kelaniya with an interesting little kick there, getting possession and putting ball to boot into that empty territory.
Here's the number 13. He kicks the ball and takes a Sabaragamuwa player, and that will be a penalty and a yellow card by the looks of it, and the yellow card clearly and cleanly given to the number 1. He was in a offside position. He had no rights to the ball, and very poor from Sabaragamuwa, the fullback. Kicked it. It was the number 13, and there was no chases that made him onside, and that is exactly why the yellow card has been given. And yet another penalty put over the other side, and it will be Kelaniya with the throw-in.
That's a very unnecessary yellow card as well. The number 1 clearly saw the ball coming towards him and made no attempt to get out of the way there. And the referee just looking at that and making sure that he will not entertain such play in this match. And Kelaniya now with possession in Sabaragamu territory.
Yeah, and Sabaragamu are playing with a yellow card as well. 14 men. They have 10 minutes to go in the yellow card. The first passage of play, here's Kelaniya, forms the driving maul, and it goes good. Here's Kelaniya still on their feet. Driving maul. Still the driving maul. No one has rolled. Advantage being played in favor of Kelaniya. Here's the number 8 in space. Takes 3 men to bring him down. Advantage still being played. Ball available for Kelaniya. Referee wanting to have a word with his AR and awards the penalty just outside the 22 meters. They'll put this into touch and probably form that driving maul, which is working pretty well for Kelaniya. So good touch find as well from NC Pereira. No much distance, but sent it to where it needed to have landed. And the number 8 for Kelaniya will be throwing in, and it will surely be a drive that goes over the whitewash.
The driving maul has worked quite well for Kelaniya so far, and it would be to their benefit if they did employ it once again. And it looks like they're going for that first jumper and line out perfectly there, and a little...
They tried the back peel, but didn't work. They should have gone for the driving maul, which is actually working for them. And that is exactly what happens in the scrums as well. The scrums are working really, really well. And if the set piece of a scrum is working really well, you should take advantage from what is working. And Kelaniya, by the looks of it, hasn't really got the message, because they haven't really tried to get maximum out of the scrums, and they haven't really got maximum out of the driving maul as well.
Definitely, and just previously the line out driving maul worked so perfectly for them, so it's a bit strange as to why they didn't employ that same tactic here. They seem to be shying away from their strengths here at this moment, and we hope that the players do get the message from the coaches about the correct decisions that would benefit them at this moment, especially when it comes to the set pieces. Seems to be a little injury there. Play stop for a few minutes, and Kelaniya will take some time to regroup and ensure that they take these few minutes to assess their strengths and make sure they play according to that, and especially in these wet conditions as well. The Sabaragamu forward pack seems to have no answer to what Kelaniya has been doing.
Doctor, doctor. Okay, time on. Play on.
Time back on. Play on is the call. Yet another line out collected by Sabaragamu. And Sabaragamu have ball available. They will go in, needs to release. Ball available in the Kelaniya half by the looks of it. No. Sabaragamu manages to keep possession. Good contest at ruck time. Here's the number 15. Putting ball to boot. collected by NC Pereira at the back. He decides to run, draw in, passes, knocks the ball on, and ball available. Advantage in favor of Sabaragamuwa. This has been the story. Stop-start affair. Both teams knocking it on, and the ground conditions are getting even worse. And the Japura Colombo match is going to be played in 30 minutes, and the ground conditions aren't really good, and this probably will affect a couple of game plans for Japura and Colombo.
Definitely not ideal conditions in the ground here because of the rain. However, a little bit of good news is that the rain seems to have ceased a bit, but has done a great deal of damage to the ground conditions. And Kelaniya, they started off their first half real well, but their second half, they seem to have taken a step back. And they haven't been employing what has been working for them so far, which is a bit perplexing to us here at the Combox. Especially given the conditions.
Ready, crouch.
However, they've given away prime possession once again.
Steady, Lamai, steady, Lamai, steady.
Sabaragamu now has possession of the ball in this ruck. They do well.
There's the number 8 breaking through the back of that scrum. This is exactly what the Sabaragamu number 8 did. And here's Kelaniya, Sabaragamu rather, giving it to his fly half. Rukshan, who decides to run, puts the ball to boot. There's no one at the back, but it goes out on the full. And pretty average play from Sabaragamu. The fullback, the number 15, it's Kavindu Rukshan, who manages to kick it out on the full and hands over position to Sabaragamu, to Kelaniya yet again. 14 points to 5. If Sabaragamu can score next, we'll have a brilliant game on our hands, because under torrid conditions, they need to be mindful of doing what they can and what is working. And here's the Kelaniya yet again, forms the driving maul. This time from outside the 22 meters, they will go inside the 22 meters. Ball available, still on their feet, and the number 8 breaks from the back of that scrum, and he should have kept possession. Here's the flanker in space, needs men at the ruck. There's a latch going through the fringes. Last foot needs to be behind, and here's Kelaniya with a yet again pick and go through the fringe. Ball available, meters short of the try line. Kelaniya looking to extend the lead. Here's another lovely pick and drive from the number 8. And here's another good run coming in, just short. Ball available for Kelaniya. And the ball and the try has been scored. Brilliant work. Try awarded by the looks of it. It's the number 3 for Kelaniya by the looks of it, and Kelaniya have gone over 19 points to 5 when Sabaragamu was diminished to 14 men. They have managed to score another try, 19 points to 5, and that's the third try for Kelaniya.
And here also we saw how they employed the rolling maul there, which worked for them perfectly. They were coasting through, and that number 8 break, which was questionable at the moment, although it did give them the result they wanted.
No.
If he did go forward with that driving maul, it would have made it a lot more easier, as at that moment they could have, number 1, either milked a penalty from that and play through that advantage, or just barge through that Sabaragamu defense with that rolling maul as well. However, they get the try, they get the desired result that they wanted, and now they are 19 points on the board, and Sabaragamu with just 5 to their name.
Couple of changes for Kelaniya. And Sabaragamuwa playing with 14 men.
Okay.
Will definitely look to score another in this consolation final. Ball touches, gives it to the scrum half. And here's the number 13 looking to run. He takes the ball into contact, a touch isolated, but ball available. And it looks like it will be a box kick from NC Pereira. Yes, it's a box kick, and there's Rukshan at the back. He decides to run. Running lateral is Rukshan. Throws in and gives it to the number 22. He's been well handled by. Tackler needs to release. Ball available for Sabaragamuwa. Gives it to the number 2. But initially takes it is the number 4. Ball available. Play on is the call. Advantage in favor of Kelaniya. And yet again, the ball has been given away and ball has been turned over. Kelaniya, this is what they have been doing most of the time. Whenever they've been under pressure, they've managed to get up and put their heads ahead. And that is why they have 19 points. Although their scrums and lineouts are working brilliantly, they haven't used it too much effect. And the yellow card has come in as well. And hence it will be a 8-man scrum. And it will be Hashim Dean who will be joining the scrum for Kelaniya from behind. As it will be a Kelaniya throw in, feed in rather. The fly half right at the back of the scrum. There you go. The scrums could have milked it a little more. Advantage being played in favor of Kelaniya. He has the ball given out wide. Needs to give it out wide, but it's a forward pass. And the referee awarding a penalty for the number 9 who was in an offside position. The scrum half can't come in front of your own flanker, and until the ball is lifted. That is exactly why the penalty was given, and it was not really good work from the scrum half of Sabaragamuwa.
And it seems like the scoreboard pressure is just creeping into those Saburagamu players as time is running out as well. They are in a position where they can very much overturn the scoreboard. But however, they are succumbing to those tiny little mistakes that is giving Kelaniya that edge. Making sure that Kelaniya is able to run away with the game. What they have to do right now is make sure they capitalize on every little opportunity that they get. And it will be a bit difficult to do that as well, seeing as how dominant the Kelaniya forwards have been in this game. Whenever the forwards have come to play, they have been able to make an impact. And the Sabaragamu forwards just having no answer at this moment to the players that have been employed by the Kelaniya players. And it will be interesting to see if Kelaniya goes for that driving maul again.
Just about 20 minutes to go in our clock as the number 8 feeds in, and the contest was good, and I thought it was a crooked throw. And here's Kelaniya, ball available. Number 70 taking him into contact is the flanker. Space opening up wide. NC Pereira gives it to Hashim Dean. Hashim Dean strains the line. Still on his feet is Hashim Dean. Pereira to the open side. Feeds it to the back line. Here's Hashim Dean yet again. He takes the ball into contact. Space opening up wide. Needs to go away. Good lovely draw and pass. Needs to forward draw and pass yet again. But ball available for Kelaniya. Given to NC Pereira, to Hashim Dean. The tackle, play on is the call. Referee asking a couple of players to retreat as well. And goes out into touch, ball available. and the ball being knocked on by the Kelaniya player and into touch.
And I think until that knock on, this certain passage of play was the most unbroken passage of play so far in this entire game, with no mistakes until that knock on by the Kelaniya player there. I think that is also as a result of the conditions of the game, the wet ball not really sticking to the hand. And there seems to be a Kelaniya player limping off. Lochan Abesinghe in that number 18 jersey.
First knock on, second line out. Option.
Not great news for Kelaniya, as he has definitely been pulling his weight and making an impact in this game so far.
Okay.
Sabaragamuwa at the back, not collected cleanly. And the scrum half being manhandled to the ground. Ruck formed is the call from the referee. Finally, Sabaragamuwa does manage to keep possession. Tackler needs to release. Here's another pick and drive through the fringe. Gains meters laterally, not up front. Scrum half gives it to Rukshan. Rukshan decides to send the ball out wide. Here's the ball being given to the Sabaragamuwa player. Ball available. Play on is the call. Lovely backhand pass. Lovely cutout pass to Hashim Dean. It's not Hashim Dean, rather it's the number 4. Ball being turned over and penalty for holding on. And brilliant work from Sabaragamuwa. Sabaragamuwa, although they haven't got just one try, they've been playing brilliantly in patches. And in these conditions, it's slippery conditions, you can't get good footing. And the ball touches a Kelaniya player and goes into touch, and it'll be a line out in favor of themselves.
And something else that we are also witnessing is the deterioration of the playing conditions here. That patch of grass in that Sabaragamu 22 seems to be quite muddy, not ideal conditions, and that'll be something that Japura and Colombo will also be looking at and factoring into as they assess the conditions here.
Okay, not back.
And a good little line out there, recovered well by Sabaragamu.
Ruck form.
Here's the ball given out. Sabaragamuwa, space opening up wide. Rukshan, lovely inside ball to the number 13. He takes the ball into contact. Takes a couple of men to bring him down though. Here's the number 2 taking the ball into contact. Yet another ruck form.
Last foot back, last foot.
Here's space opening up wide. Gives it to the number 7. He takes the ball into contact. Good defense from Kelaniya. Space opening up wide. Puts the ball to boot. And it doesn't go even 5 meters. And it's a terrible kick and gives away possession to Kelaniya. The scrum half will go for the box kick.
Back, number 8.
That's NC Silva, NC Pereira. And he returns the favor and goes out on the full. And Sabaragamuwa are making a mess out of it, because whenever they've had ball, Kelaniya are tackling them, rush defense up front, and Sabaragamuwa are really finding it hard for this rush defense play. And up front ball is being mishandled by Sabaragamuwa, really poor from them.
And in comparison to that first half, especially that first 15 to 20 minutes, Sabaragamu maintained a lot of possession of the ball. They didn't give it away a lot. However, in the second half, although they've tried to run it down, even from their own 22, they just haven't been able to hold on to that ball, giving it away in crucial moments. And play has been held up here as the medics are tending to the Saburagamu player. While on the other end of the ground, all is set for the line out. Kelaniya in possession of the ball. And a huge gap between the number 10 and number 12 that seems to be closing in now. And it looks like once again that Kelaniya will attempt to go to that line. Pereira in the number 10 jersey, who has played for St. Thomas's before, will be bringing in a lot of experience, and that is one of the reasons that Kelaniya have been going constantly for him. A little conference here on your screens. Player is deciding if he's able to continue or not. And it seems like he's able to continue.
And the ankle injury for Rukshan at the back. And it is number 8 for Kelaniya, who will be restarting things. Good line out. One forms the maul. Here's the driving maul that has worked for them, but it was really underused by Kelaniya. Still on their feet, and advantage being played for intentional collapse. Ball available. And it's NC Pereira, the scrum half rather, the fly half rather, playing as the scrum half, as they will go through the fringes. And here another fringe drive from Kelaniya. They'll probably want that 4 tries. And although it doesn't give you a bonus point this time around in this format. Here's NC Silva putting the cross kick. Brilliant work from Silva, and the ball has been touched down, and brilliant try. Good work. Only needs to see if the player was in an onside position. And looks like the try was good.
And that's exactly what Kelaniya has to be doing in this game, just employing the power that their forwards bring in. And at that moment there, they've gone to Pereira, who has brought in his experience with that little kick.
Referee going back to the penalty somehow. It was for an intentional collapse, and the ref, NC Pereira will put this into touch and probably form that driving maul, which is working really well.
That's definitely something that Kelaniya should be looking at, because in that previous line out they were able to gain at least 15 to 20 meters there, where they just drove in and was able to get a penalty as well. And here they are again, once again with that driving maul. They're inching towards the try line. Will Kelaniya get their 4th? And they seem to have gotten that try. The referee awards the try for Kelaniya, and they have breached that Sabaragamu defense once again, scoring the 4th try of this Consolation final. And it looks like that would be the final nail on the coffin, as we are running out of time as well here.
Yeah, it's Hashim Dean, the former Peter Wright flanker, playing now for Kelaniya. And he's had a good game so far. In attack, he's playing at number 8. And in defense, he's playing at the number 7 position as the open side flanker. And he's doing a really good job out of it as well. As we see the number 15, T. Pereira, trying to convert this. 4 tries, 2 conversions. And the connection is good, but the distance isn't on the mark. And hence it will be 24 points to 5. We have around 10 minutes to go in this Consolation final between University of Kelaniya and the University of Sabaragamuwa. 24 points to 5 is how it stands right now. And Sabaragamuwa are coming in back to the centre mark pretty slowly. And it will be Rukshan who will be kicking things off from the right to left. Collected this time by the flank. Good work from Kelaniya. Here's the number 8 in space. Still in space is the number 8 going through a couple of players. Finally brought down. Gains around 10 to 15 meters.
No, okay, it's okay.
No hands is the call. Scrum off. Gives it to the open side. Space opening up wide. He should have given the ball out wide. Ball being knocked on and right in front of the referee's eyes, and it will be a scrum. The story so far, it has been a stop-start affair. There has been plenty scrums and plenty line-outs. And given these torrid conditions, the drizzle is still on. And both teams are making a havoc out of it.
Kelaniya with a barging run there by that number 8.
Okay.
Just bulldozing through so many defenders. However, that little last phase by Kelaniya just giving away the advantage to Sabaragamu. And here's Sabaragamu in Kelaniya territory, and they want to make something out of this. They've visited this area so many times, but they only have one try to show for it. And here's the number 8 breaking with little pass to the number 21.
There's the big men taking the ball into contact. Tackle needs to roll away. Rolls away, exactly. Here's the number 7 takes the ball into contact. He's well met with by Hashim Dean. Here's the scrum half to the fly half. Number 11 gives the ball out. Rukshan to Pereira takes the ball into contact. He scored a brilliant try on the other side of the space. And here's Pereira yet again. Number 13 places the ball, gives the ball out wide. Sabaragamuwa. Here's the ball available for them. They are going lateral and backwards. They're not going front. Here's an opportunity yet again. Here's the number 8. Lovely offload to the number 15. He takes the ball into contact. Ball goes out. And he's being well handled by the Kelaniya player. Needs to release. Penalty advantage in favor of Sabaragamuwa. Will they take this quickly? Could have taken it quickly, but Sabaragamuwa will put this into touch and probably get a line out of their own.
Sabaragamu with an advantage here, deep into Kelaniya territory, something that we haven't seen a lot of in the second half.
Yeah, in the first half we saw Sabaragamuwa camping inside the red zone of Kelaniya for around 20 minutes. And in those first 20 minutes, they couldn't score any points. That is exactly where the game changed for Sabaragamuwa. And for Kelaniya, the scrums and line-out drives have been working pretty well. And they've underused it to a great extent. But they'll be happy because they have 4 tries and 2 conversions. And on this half of play, it's good. And here's a front peel to Sabaragamuwa. Needs to roll away. Ball comes out. Here's the advantage being played, and that will probably be a yellow card. Offside is the call. Referee won't go for his pocket. Quickly taken. 10 OK is the call from the referee. Yet again, ball needs to be released, and turning over, holding on is the call from the referee. He was isolated, and yet again, Kelaniya are given a get out of jail penalty.
Kelaniya defense jubilant there at what they've done, and the touch finder doesn't find touch at all. However, the chasers putting a lot of pressure on that Sabaragamu player, and they've just been able to get possession of the ball. And here's Pereira with a little offload that goes right into the hands of the Sabaragamu player, unfortunately for Kelaniya. And here's Sabaragamu once again having gotten possession of the ball.
Needs to roll away. Ball available. Good work from the front row. Here's the number 7. He's been dragged and lifted and manhandled back. Good tackle coming in. Here's the ball given to Rukshan. Ball being charged down. It'll be a line out in favor of Kelaniya. What brilliant play from Kelaniya. Good work. It was a good up and under, and it was a good chase. There was 3 men pouncing on the Sabaragamuwa fullback, and just like that, the penalty was given, and the turnover was secured as well. Hence, brilliant work from Kelaniya to keep this in play and in their favour.
Kelaniya definitely building on their momentum here. Although they did start off the second half with a few hiccups, right after they scored that try, they seem to be just growing in confidence, a little bit more sure about the decisions that they are taking.
The number 8 to the back, this time a clean line out. Here's the number 8 breaking, a back peel. This is exactly what they have been doing throughout the first passage of play. Here's another pick and drive through the fringes. Gives the ball out, and the ball has been turned over by the looks of it. Play on is the call. Referee allowing Kelaniya to play this ball through the fringes. Goes Kelaniya yet again. Ball available, ball presented. Here's the ball given out to the first spot. The number 5 takes the ball into contact, and still on his feet is the number 5. Not going through the fringes. Here's the number 11. Here's Hashim Dean and the number 14 going into contact. Ball available through the fringe. Pick and drop. Yet another pick and drop through the fringes it will be for Kelaniya. Needs to roll away. Advantage wasn't given because ball was available. Here's the first signal pod. The wide pod from the scrum half, and they'll go through another fringe. Here's another wide pod to the number 8. He's being well manhandled by the Sabaragamu defense. Here's the ball given out by number 10 to the number 13. Lovely outside pass, and that's a brilliant try. The number 14 goes over the whitewash. It was a lovely pop pass to the wing 3/4, and Kelaniya just like that have 5 tries, 29 points to 5 with the conversion to come, and they've put the game to bed. There you go. That was the pass. It was a lovely pop pass to the back. It was brilliantly done from Kelaniya, and that's probably is the game done and dusted.
Excellently done there by Kelaniya. They didn't make any mistakes there. Didn't give Sabaragamu easy possession of the ball. What they did there was they went into faces. They made sure that their rucks were secured, and once they had sucked in those Sabaragamu defenders, they just went towards their line, where the players also stuck to the basics, just drew in those defenders and popped the ball over to the wing 3/4, who just crossed over for a try. And here's the conversion from Kelaniya that falls short once again. However, they will not worry too much about this as they near the end of the game, and they are 24 points ahead with just on our clock 9 more minutes to play.
Blue.
Sabaragamu seems to be in a bit of a hurry to start off their game, and it's not Rukshan this time who will be taking that kick.
Restarted. Here's NC Pereira, who has been the player of the match for me. NC Pereira, the number 10 of Kelaniya, the former Thumian. Here's the number 13. Puts the ball to boot, and he doesn't make the player onside, as Kelaniya will hit back yet again. The big man taking the ball into contact. A couple of big players have come in as well, but penalty in favor of Sabaragamu for holding on is the call from the referee Tilna Jayalat, and it will be the number 8 who will be putting this into touch. And by the looks of it, the time is good as well, and that is the game done and dusted. 29 points to 5. University of Kelaniya defeating University of Sabaragamu by 29 points to 5, and the consolation, the third place, being won by Kelaniya. And just like that, brilliantly done. Kelaniya did manage to have the upper hand from the word go, and they have managed to topple Sabaragamuwa 29 points to 5.
And Kelaniya doing extremely well here today at Nittawela in order to secure that victory, in order to get that bronze medal in the Sri Lanka University Games 2025. And what a performance we've had from them. After that first half, they were able to just deny Sabaragamu from gaining any momentum, and they just kept growing in confidence. Kelaniya doing well to secure this victory here at Kandy today.
That's the full-time confirmation, 29 points to 5. And now let's take a look at the second half highlights, where Kelaniya managed to score 3 tries rather. At the end of the first half, it was 14 points to 5. And 3 more tries were scored and none of them were converted. That is why they have 29 points to 5. And a comprehensive win against Sabaragamuwa in this consolation final, and that was the last try that was scored by Kelaniya. And now let's take a look at the key stats of the game. University of Kelaniya 5 tries, 2 conversions for the 29 points, and University of Saburagamu just 1 try, giving them the solitary 5 points. And the player of the match was the N.S. Pereira, the number 10 of University of Kelaniya, who controlled the game really well, and brilliant game recognition as well. And that is how the game ends. And that's the consolation final done and dusted. And next up we have University of Jayawardhanpura taking on the University of Colombo in the all-important cup final. And now we will go for a short commercial break, and when we do come back, we'll have further more live action.
Stand by for opener.
Sri Lanka's #1 sports channel, ThePapare.
3, 2, 1, roll.
ඉතින් ශ්‍රී ලංකාවේ අංකික ක්‍රීඩා නාලිකාව ThePapare සමග.
Welcome back to ThePapare.
Welcome to the live broadcast from ThePapare. Good luck, guys. Good luck, everyone.
ThePapare, Sri Lanka's #1 television sports channel.